Hello. Welcome to the stream. I didn't stream for the past 2 days for some reason. I don't know why. I probably ran out of time or something. And now I am streaming, you may have noticed. So I'm gonna be working on the thing. I'm gonna be doing that. And other stuff, hypothetically. Yeah. Yeah. I did a lot of cleaning today. I really like cleaning. I'm a trad wife. And so I'm just gonna do... Oh, they updated their, Line of Action updated their thing? They updated their thing. So it still says cover and clothing, models, only new models, all covered, only covered models. But now for genders, they have female red, male red, and non-binary conforming. No idea what that means, but okay, I'm curious what they have in there actually. Your selections match 0 images. Oh my god, wait. They don't have any non-binary conforming models for clothed or nude. So, I don't know why they added that option. I should probably hire some models for that, huh? Seems kind of pointless to add the option if they're not gonna, like, have anything for it. That's really funny to me. Alright. It's time to game. Alright. Oh, this one's new. They added a new one. That's nice. Never seen this one before. Very novel. This is like the second image of a fat person they have, so that's nice. She's not even that fat, honestly. She's wearing a bra and panties. There we go. Did I put in my settings right? Yeah, I think I did. Okay, for this one we have the Twink Boy. Thank God I'm kind of finally getting some representation for my body type. That one. Wait, did I put the settings in wrong? I think I might have. Because I would have seen that one before if it was... I put them in right, I think. They don't get new images all that often. I usually see them shortly after they get them. It's just weird to get 2 new images in a row. His shoulders are narrower than that. I just drew it wrong. Okay. Oh yeah, I definitely put him in wrong. Yeah, I accidentally put all models and not only nude models. Only naked people for me, thanks. I guess the reason the first one was in there is that she has her boobs covered up. It's just so funny to me that they would... they have a category called non-binary conforming models. Like, what the hell does that mean? Non-binary conforming? How are they supposed to conform to being non-binary? That doesn't make any sense. Like, non-binary people will just look however they want. They don't have like a set of genitals or like a specific look to them. That doesn't make any sense. They're non-binary. That's the whole point. It's also just really funny to me that they would add that feature and have absolutely no pictures of non-binary people. Why don't they just write like non-binary identifying models or something like that? I think I know why, actually. It's because, like, if some, like, trans person put their photos on there and were like, I'm a man, and, like, still had boobs or something, then they would be like, well, shit. How are we supposed to put you in? You have boobs, you can't. What? No! What if a trans woman submits her photos and some guy who only wanted to look at, like, cis women's boobs sees her penis and has a heart attack? What if? Oh, for fuck's sake, that's not what I clicked. Just skip on to the next one. There we go. Okay. I'm probably not going to be talking a lot today for no particular reason. I'm just not feeling very talkative. I am going to be drawing, though. Probably found a philosophy tube, so that's neat. First video of hers I watched is the trans coming out video, and it's like really shocking how different she looks, like when presenting masculine versus feminine. Because I think, because I don't imagine she recorded that first part before her transition, I think the beard and all that are just like makeup. And it's really surprising how good she is with makeup if that is the case, because like, wow. The liberal philosophy section of YouTube is getting crushed by transgenderism. Okay. Oh, this is a new one. I like this one. This is another twink pose. Big fan. Big fan. It's almost time to go. You know, there's a part of that one 2 songs bit that Storyhill did at the reunion concert that like actually works really well. And whenever I hear it, I'm always like, but that does actually work really well. For that like singular moment, it works so well. It's almost time to go. Recently I watched one of Big Joel's videos about Jordan B. Peterson, and there's this bit where Jordan B. Peterson is like complaining because on the cover of a Sports Illustrated magazine there's a fat woman, and he's like, I'm trying to be like, they're trying to trick us into finding fat women attractive, which is like such a very extremely funny thing to say. Like, how does one, if you find her attractive, they didn't have to trick you into that. Like, they can't control what's inside of your brain. Whoever they is, I don't think they have access to your brain, Mr. Peterson. If you find her attractive, you just do, man. I really like Big Joel's form of presentation because he's just like he's very casual, very chill. No, I don't want to exit. Just go on to the next one, please. Thank you. The exit button is right next to the go on to the next one, please button. Okay, I've never seen this one before. Very curious. It looks like one of the ones in the same set as the other old man ones. It's funny just how little old men care about being naked. Like, they do not give one single flying fuck if you see them naked. They're just like, whatever. Which is funny, because you'd think, like, just thinking about this in the way that I am presently, I would think old women would be bothered less by it. Like, there's more societal expectation for women to still be attractive even if they're old. But also, like, women get a lot more people looking at them naked, assuming they have children or STD tests. Well, they don't need to see you naked for an STD test, but they do need to, like, dig around in your vagina, and a doctor is probably going to see you naked if you're giving birth, or pretty close to naked. At least as far as I know. So it's funny that, like, old men who are, I think, required less to be naked around other people are just bothered less by it. Yep. This says a lot about society. You know what I don't know? I don't know how STD tests for people with vaginas work, actually, so I'm gonna look that up once I get done with this, just for my own curiosity. I like to know things from time to time. I mean, I get trans people of all genders not wanting to be seen naked even at an old age, because a lot of people find trans bodies, like, offensive or disgusting or anger inciting for some damn reason, so, like, it's a matter of personal safety for them to not show their wangus off to anyone. More's the pity. Can you imagine if on nude beaches, instead of it being like a bunch of old men, it's like just a lot of like old trans women or something like that? That would just be, I think that would be a great improvement to society. Replace old men with old trans women and trans people in general. We don't need old men anymore. We've moved past the need for old men. I personally, once I get old enough, will go, fuck it, and just decide to be a woman. I'll just be like, well, I mean, might as well. I'm aware that that is not what being trans is. I am doing something called a joke. You may have heard of it. There we go. Show me the next image, doctor. Thank you. It's almost time to go. Just think about the trout rising to the slightest change in weather. Maybe when we make enough someday, we'll find a piece of land on the still water. Inside Emotion, while I was doing cleaning today, that song came on and I just belted it like at full volume while I had my headphones on, so I couldn't even hear myself, but thankfully there's no one in the house this week, so no one else could hear me either. I really like singing loudly, so I do like being left alone from time to time, so I can do that. Okay, hit me with another one. Hit me with your best shot. Come on now, hit me with your best shot. Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. I was at my dad's a bit ago, like a couple days? Yeah, it was a couple days ago. and I put on a song I liked, because whenever I go there, it's mostly just songs he likes. You know, Elvis, random 80s music, Frank Sinatra, and I like got into singing it, and he was like, "Whoa, now," because I was just singing too loudly, and I was like, "I'm never." In my brain, I was like, "I am never in my life going to put on another song I like in front of you, Dad." Bad news, buddy. Honestly, probably like one of the things that I enjoy the most about my mom, like on a day-to-day basis, other than the fact that she has provided for me at times when no one else would, is that like she likes my singing. She is not bothered by it. My little sister is bothered by it, and my dad doesn't like any of the same music, but my mom likes it, so yay. Yay for little Axelius, who never did nobody no wrong. Okay, there we go, that's done, and I put the chat back from whence it came, which is like there-ish, and I put on a new video. Did I just watch Line Goes Up? I don't think I did. I'll put on The School of Life, a deeply bad self-help channel from Big Joel. I really like him. I'm gonna reply to a thought about a book I just read on my on the Discord server full of book readers, a bunch of disgusting nerds such as myself. Okay, there we go. Okay. Hmm. Okay, there we go. Figure drawing. Excuse me. It's funny that I bother to arrange all of those and then just get rid of them. Fuck them. There we go. This should be the right one. Yes. Okay, what I want is to expand this side a bit more, just to make this feel like it's a bit more in the corner over here. Excuse me. Wait, I can turn the timer on. Stopwatch. This is the timer I would always put on when I had to do things as a small child, because my teacher always put it on, and the name of the website is like really there, so it's hard to forget about. Okay. We set the timer, we start the timer. I started at 9 hours because I already worked on this for an hour. Ugh, excuse me. Alright. This should... Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. Excuse me. What's this? It's just pincer, huh? Okay. Where's the thing? Somebody very kindly did a paint over of my piece. So I'm going to be referencing that in making this. One second. Okay. Here we go. I need to flip that. I'm just gonna zoom in on the scruff this guy did, which does not look like a normal wolf. Yeah, she looks a bit thin, perhaps. Okay, 1 second. I need to go here, and there is something wrong with her face, and I think it's her face. Her face looks fine. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. 1 second. Okay. Reverse. Okay. Big Joel is so funny. I love it. I'm sorry. When other people are laughing, it makes me laugh too. Same thing with crying actually. If other people are crying, it makes me like feel like I want to cry. By an annoying British man. Mm. That looks a lot more normal than that. What? I'm just gonna paste that on there. And on that day, I'm gonna get a PhD in media studies and be the most important professor in the world. Okay, bye. This guy. Okay, we're just gonna paint her out a bit more. I'm gonna get rid of this one. I'm not gonna like actually delete her yet though. Alex. Alex, a dystopian self-help channel. Wait. Hmm. Losing it. Scruff butt, let's go. Um. Hmm. Oops, need to take this out as well. I just need to be able to see what I'm doing. Hmm. Money doesn't. Um. Um. Just hearing the things that the woman in the Alex videos is saying is like making me angry. I can't believe someone could actually say that. That's awful. Photoshop, you've been open for 20 fucking minutes. There we go. I do like that. I do like how that works. Who the hell is Alex anyway? Are they like some rich people? Like, are they rich people? They have to be rich people, right? There's no way someone normal would say this kind of thing. What? Why is her tone so angry when she... Hmm. Hmm. It's really funny to me about Joel that he just like breaks down laughing. Like he just like can't keep his voice straight. I just find that really funny. It's endearing. Hmm. 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 Scruff. I'm going to keep this just so I can laugh at it. Okay. Okay. I don't like this color here. The white is fine, but... think... Okay. 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 I like that one of Big Joel's like editing tricks is just making his face weirdly proportioned, and then he's like, funny. Wait. Where's my brush? That's not what I wanted. What I wanted is very little saturation jitter, a bit more. There we go. I can't seem to get rid of it being more saturated than it should be. Does that change it? Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I can turn up both of these a bit. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted. Alright. Painterly Lad. Rock. Alright, and where does it go? It goes to this corner. That's where the brush panel is for some reason. I'm gonna watch the Blair White video. I just learned about her from ContraPoints. I don't know anything about her, but I do not like her. One second. I'm gonna make it a bit more severe. I do like that. Okay. Okay. I feel so bad for Blair being on that debate with that awful woman. Oh my god. I mean, she chose to be there, but honey. This doesn't appear to be anything. One sec. Wait. Okay, this is definitely not the one I want. Okay. Painterly rock. There we go. One second. Okay. Okay. I make these rocks look good for a very long time. Okay. 4 rock. Oops. What just happened? Why is it full screen now? Is it like that on the... How did that happen? Help. How how to fix full screen Photoshop. Help. Okay, what is it? Just tell me. Please just tell me what it is. Why? Okay, so I just tap F. Okay, cool. That's really strange that that's an option to me. For rock, snow. Come on, Photoshop, you've only been running for like an hour. Come on. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, honey. Why did Blair subject herself to that? I don't like that woman, but that's like self-harm. Honey, why do you do this? Blair, honey, no. Why, I transed 5 people just this morning. Hmm. Okay. 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 Really like how those rocks look. Okay. Hmm. 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 Cotton candy ass tree there. Wow. One second. I'm gonna pause so that I can go get myself some water. I'll be back in a minute. By the way, I want to transform this piece to have like a foreground, a more substantial foreground looking out onto the background, because otherwise the background feels a bit too big. Like the foreground isn't taking up enough space. It's going to change how the piece looks a bit, but I think it'll make it better, so yeah. And I mean, I have 8 fucking hours to do it, so might as well do something with that time. It's almost time to go. Grizzly, you're so handsome. You're so handsome and gentlemanly, Grizzly. I can imagine no one I would rather spend my evening with. You can stay downstairs if you want, Grizzly. That's fine. I have returned. I am a creature of the night. Untrue. I am not a creature of the night. I am, however, a creature nonetheless. Be I of the night or otherwise. Jesus Christ, Curiosity Stream is sponsoring goddamn everyone. Okay. 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 I like the animation in this video. Hmm. Okay. Me looking at my art. Yes. Okay. All right. Cool. Just checking to see. There's still no one in the chat. Okay. I like how it like glitches in and out of existence when you do that. Okay. I wish you could wish you could select more than one thing at once and not have to select everything more than once to be able to move it together. That first sound like left my throat completely on accident. I was just trying to breathe and I made the Siegmeyer sound. That's right. I immediately think of uh, DS1 instead of DS3. Is Siegmeyer the one in DS1? He is, right? Right? Oh, I have a text from Ludwig, and I don't want to read it. Okay. It's almost time to go. I need to make all of this bigger. I'm holding my chin like a fancy thought man. I'm like looking at it like, I need to make the trees bigger because it makes her look too small. Oh my god, how are you that small? She's actually a very big dog though. She is not a small dog. Most wolves are much larger than you can possibly imagine. One second, is Photoshop not... Yeah, that was weirdly done, okay. Come on, Photoshop. Do I need to close Photoshop to make it stop this? Should I move this over here? This is so much more thought than I usually... Oh my god, Photoshop, just put it where I put it. Jesus Christ. So if I put it there, it's almost time to go. That's 110% more thought than I've ever put into anything. I'm gonna play music again. It's almost time to go. Yeah, there's like one moment in their thing where it works perfectly, the two songs thing. It's just kind of funny, like, watching it and like that beautiful moment where everything works perfectly. Because every other bit, it's just like a joke, obviously. But for that one moment. Tangled thoughts and tangled hair, baby blue eyes that cry for me. She don't really want to see me leave, and she just met me. Soon I'll be hightailing I-90. Soulmates from the start, gentle spirits heart to heart. Moonlight lovers in the dark, hiding on the lawn and making the sparks. The making's lovely. Soon I'll be hightailing I-90. There'll be construction on the way, a summer job with decent pay, filling holes along the road. I done things they ain't never told, don't tell nobody. Soon I'll be hightailing I-90. I-90 soothing me, moving me to be a better man, giving me the time to see, to understand. Now that all my work is done, I see the warmth in the summer sun. With a twisted heart and edgy feet, I'm going home to make ends meet. Quandary. Is there lyrics for this song anywhere? I bet if I... Do you think that if I had emailed Storyhill and was like, hey, do you guys have, like, lyrics, please? Do you think they'd have any? Storyhill I-90. Soon I'll be hightailing I-90. Oh, yes, it is on storyhill.info. Thank God. 1 second, I have to stop it to try to find the... Oh, you can tell this is not official because it does blatantly just get lyrics wrong, I'm pretty sure. There's a couple of times I've noticed that, like, what's to say this crazy town who lifts one up and lets the other one down? Don't feel bad for all its tricks. It weighs on his mind like a load of bricks. He don't take it lightly. In this, it says, what's to say this crazy clown, which I'm almost certain is not what they say in the song. 1 second. No? No, they do say clown. Why do they say that? That absolutely does not make any sense to me. Oh well. When was the last time? This was just programmed in HTML and it would be like 18 years ago now. This website is old. In terms of internet age, I mean, like, wow. Soon I'll be hightailing on 90. Soon I'll be hightailing on 90. Need to move this behind this there. Also gonna give it some like cut off branches down here. No, they just ended with no, that was their fake finish. Their real finish they ended much more awkwardly. I-90 is when they get encored back on and then they do steady on and inside of motion. They do that every time. I mean, it's just a concert thing. When you go to a concert, you have to encore the guy's back on at least once. One time I think I was at a concert where they got encored on back twice, actually. Like, it was at a Story Hill concert and we just didn't stop applauding till they came back on the stage. I think we did it for like a minute straight. You know, us and the rest of the audience were all too jazzed to stop. I actually have a full recording of a Story Hill concert on my phone. Because I was recording it the last time I was there. Just for fun. Did you know what you're going into? Can you feel a change from inside? You're not the same. You no longer want to hide. I hope Phantom's here and just not talking. It does say one viewer. I assume that's Phantom. Unless I have a secret admirer. Ooh. Thank God I stopped watching ContraPoints. Or I cycled through all her videos and I get like weird anxiety about rewatching things too many times. I don't know why. It's a weird thing to get anxious about. But I watched all her videos, I think like literally almost every single one of them, and then stopped. And I started watching Philosophy Tube today, but I'm not getting the urge to watch the rest of her videos because at least one of them is about Ben Shapiro, and I can't stand to look at Ben Shapiro unless it's in a joke. He's just so, like, just like viscerally upsetting for me to watch. I don't know why. They move you swiftly now, the back roads of the country, and maybe now you should check your speed, and don't forget to chase the whispers of your dreams, 'cause you're hunting like the hawk that circles higher, your rising smoke from a dying campfire. You're the thermal beneath the wing, and you're Cirrus in the sky. You're a reason for, you're an answer why. Your arms are strong when you fly through the air, over streets and buildings, and the people below you stare. They can't believe, 'cause they've never seen someone who dare fly outside their dreams, steady on like the hawkers who pass through the air. You can hear them coming and you step out and stare. They're in chevron formation and they'll follow their leader, who'll tire when she's flown through the sunshine And steady on like the hogger you are. In the air, you can hear them coming, and you step out and stare. They're in chevron formation, and they'll follow their leader, who'll tire when she's flown through the sunshine. And steady on like the honkers who pass through the air. You can hear them coming, and you step out and stare. They're in chevron formation, and they'll follow their leader, who'll tire when she's flown through the sunshine and thunder. Earlier during the stream, I accidentally told a lie, which I just realized now, which is that I was not singing Inside Emotion loudly to myself while reorganizing books in my room. It was steady on, the same edition of it that I was just singing. The thing about that song is that it feels really profound, but they also say the word hunger in it like 10 times. So I can't take myself too seriously while singing it. Even though it is very, like, profound and good, like, I still hear myself say that, and I'm like, indeed. I don't know if anyone non-Minnesotan would get this one, buddy. Or non-Midwestern. It's a thing. It's serious here, I swear. We're not all jokes. God, the one, like, representation of Minnesota in media that's, like, really interesting to me is the representation of Minnesota in the movie Rio, where it is a barren wasteland covered in snow where birds get trafficked to. Why were they trafficking birds to Minnesota? There aren't that many rich people here who want to buy exotic birds. Like, take them to Florida or New York or somewhere with a customer base. Maybe they had, like, specific orders from one rich person in Minnesota. Like, I don't know literally anyone here who owns an exotic pet. We all own, like, dogs and cats. Well, one person nearby does own a pig, I think. I've never seen it, but my sister has, so they do own a pig, but, like, that's not even that exotic. Pigs are just, like, normal animals. They're not pets, really, but they're livestock, so it's not weird to own one. Hell, I've skinned a pig. Like, me, I've done that. I've interacted with pigs. Other than the cops, I mean. It's so funny being, like, I am deathly afraid of cops sometimes. Like, completely irrationally, because there's no way they would hurt me, of all people, but, like, I'm still deathly afraid of them. Probably not the same kind of deathly afraid as people who, like, could actually get killed by them, but, like, every time I see one, I'm like, oh god, what are they going to do to me? Someone I know who has lived in the same town for a very long time describes the fact that, according to him, cops used to, at least here, be, like, nice to the white people, at least, but, like, the attitudes they show to all people, including white people, have worsened over the years. And I don't know if that's true or not, because he's describing his childhood and, you know, things you remember from being a little kid aren't generally super accurate, but, like, I find it interesting that the cops are, if what he's saying is true, the cops are not only, like, negative towards racial minorities, but increasingly negative towards racial majorities who support them. Maybe they can just, like, smell fear on me. Maybe they can smell the fact that I call them a pig behind their backs. I can't believe I didn't sing any of Inside Emotion. I think that might be one of the less good covers of Inside Emotion, though. Covers, I say, as if it's a performance. It's one of the less good performances, I think. It feels less passionate. It might be because they were getting fucking tired of singing at that point. That's at the very end of a concert that was at least 2 hours long. I'm gonna turn on a bit of different music now. I am going to listen to Thing For Me again, though. I really love Thing For Me. I wanna do what you wanna do. I wanna know what you're living for. I'm alone and straight at you. I wanna do like you did before. Is that too much to ask? Can you feel anything for me anymore? Definitely not because I relate to this song at all. I wanna know what you're coming from. I wanna know what is wrong with you. We were the people they pointed to prove that your love was true. Is this all it can be? Can you feel anything for me anymore? What was it that complicated everything we had before? What happened to your thing for me? What happened to your thing for me? Your thing for me? Your thing for me? I'm gonna get rid of this one so I can put on a different layer. I want more than an alibi. I wanna know what it can be true. I wanna know if you wanna try. Is that too much to ask? Can you feel anything for me anymore? What was it that complicated everything we had before? What happened to your thing for me? What happened to your thing for me? What happened to your thing for me? Your thing for me? Your thing for me? That's not the video. That's not the song I wanted to hear. It was Ghosts That We Knew, Pathetic. Give me fingers to the bone. I love this song. Just a little bit of rest by the side of the road. I lift my voice to the forces above, the lords of labor and the goddess of love. I just love the texture of this brush so much. I think this is from when the brush was in a bad mood, but look at that. Like the Like well, that was in when it was in its hairy mode. But I just like how it looks a lot. It's so versatile. It looks really weird without the tree here. Work is what you are, breathing in and out. Your final breath falls to the floor. Swing down at the sledgehammer through the wood. A little test of mind over flesh ought to do you good. Get up off the ground, you can lay down when the work is done. And on the 7th day, you lay in the morning sun. I'm gonna make this even longer. I like long things. Might be too long. Yeah, it's good. I lift my voice to the forces above, the lords of labor and the goddess of love. Thankfully, I managed to infect one of my friends with liking this song, so I don't have to do it alone. And also my mom likes it, so... Thank God I have my mom to give me all my interests so that I don't have to participate in them alone. Well, the reason she gave them all to me, I guess, is so that she didn't have to participate in them alone either, but you know. Breathing in and out, your final breath falls to the floor. Breathing in and out. Get up off the ground, you can lay down when the work is done. And on the 7th day, you can lay in the morning sun. 1 second, I have to... A little test of mind over flesh ought to do you good. Get up off the ground, you can lay down when the work is done. And on the 7th day, you can lay in the morning sun. Not that same sense of expansiveness it has right now. Oh, fuck off, Windows display thing. I don't want anything to do with you. Leave me and my son alone. Me and my son being me, myself, and I. It's 3 people. That's right, I quoted a meme. I'm like that sometimes. I'm edgy. Okay, so if we're actually gonna follow the law, which I am known to do on occasion. Oh, fuck off. Clear guides, new guide layout. Thank you. Alright, so the wolf. So the problem I'm seeing here is that the wolf is too low, but this is also too low. Usually I'm fine with one of the points of interest being too low on the canvas, because I always do that, like in... 1 sec. I'm gonna open a JPEG real quick. I'm pretty sure in most of the artworks I did for the 30-day challenge, the wolf was either like was a bit too low on the canvas or in a slightly wrong position. Like, I'm pretty sure this is very colorful, I just realized. I'm pretty sure in this one, yeah, she's way too low on the canvas. I just like usually do that in drawing, I guess. And I'm pretty sure in the other good one, this one, she's like way too far to this side for it to be Yeah, she's like too low and too far to the side. And this, wait. This art piece is kind of funny to me because it took the longest out of all of them. Like, I spent a really long time on this, but it's kind of transparent how much of it was just me. Like, I remember this vividly. Like, you can see it here. I was, like, just scribbling over the same things over and over again, trying to get them to look good. Like, with this, which is actually one of the things about the piece that stood out to me immediately. The foreground generally looks very detailed through being scribbled on a lot, but this doesn't because I didn't scribble on it enough, and it's standing out to me now. This part I didn't scribble on enough either. I mean, you can go back and you can tell I just scribbled all this stuff in. This part in particular looks, I think, the worst in all of the piece. This part looks pretty good. It is funny that the wolf doesn't have a shadow, though. I generally forgot that because, like, she's got grass all around her and whatnot. The colors in this are so dull compared to that. Also, I feel sad that there's no one here. Pick the scenes up, take what you like. Then again, the brightest color in this is that bright, so whoopsies, and the darkest is pretty dark, so it's just like not very vibrant. That's just what this weather looks like. If you've lived where I've lived, you know what I'm talking about. So I'll accept her being too far down. Notable that most of the wolves I draw are female. I wonder why that is. Genuinely. So we're just gonna grab this and do that and have it be normal. I am going to allow it to be a bit more on this side, though. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm just gonna cover this up real quick. Just gonna cover this up real quick. No one can tell. No one knows what I've done. Jesus Christ, I feel like I need to make it, I need to make it longer again. This is long enough. It's already long. I miss my sanguine eyes. What is he actually saying there? This is Lover of the Light. Lover of the Light lyrics. Please explain to me why he says the word sanguine. It's not cool. Okay, it's a little bit cool, but it's not that cool. I miss my sanguine eyes. Okay, explain this to me. Wait. What's the word for red? Sanguine definition, please. Blood red. Oh. It means both red and optimistic or positive, and my brain immediately went to blood red. So I was like listening to lyrics like, his sanguine eyes? What? What have you done, Mumford? What have you done to yourself? Mumford, why are your eyes sanguine? Sanguine. Sanguine. I need to put more shit over here. It is one of my God-given rights to put more shit over here. Okay. I really don't get why, like, LGBTQ Republicans, people who choose to associate with that crowd, why do they do it? Like, those people just hate them. Like, do they just like feeling pain? Do they enjoy it? No idea what he's saying. Pular? Is he? I'm pretty sure Balamal speaks Pular. I don't actually know how to pronounce his name. I'm pretty sure the double A is just an elongated A sound, so ah. Not A, as my temptation is to do it. Guarmietama. 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 Guantemole me. Oh, it's my boy. Hey, Phantom. I see I noticed your text over a minute after it happened. Sorry. Unless there's enough text on the screen, I can't have my brushes panel. I can't see things and have my brushes panel up, but if you do like 2 more texts, I'll be able to see what you say without having to close my brushes panel or click on the other thing. I believe I've shown off my setup before. It's not the best thing in the world, but like I have the entire other monitor so that the stuff doesn't have to be on it. Plus moving things around all the time is annoying and I don't want to do it. And indeed there would be time. It's all that I have, it's all that I have. I think the right color is more like that. It's all that I have. And in the cold light I live to love and adore you. It's all that I am, it's all that I have. To love and adore you, it's all that I am, it's all that I have. Story time with Axel. The first boyfriend I ever had, I was really into this song while I was dating him, so I would like sing it casually around him, and he never commented on it a single time, I think. So I think he like just hated it, which is really funny to me, because he never said anything about it. He just completely ignored me. He's like an annoying little bastard. Generally, people I date, I think, I don't know what they don't like about me because they've never they haven't like done the courteous thing, if you will, and just like gotten mad at me and explained everything they hate about me. They just go, bye. And well, first of all, I don't appreciate that because it gives me nothing to improve on. Like, if you have a grievance with me, I would like to know it so that I can improve as a person or at least understand where you're coming from. But if you just go bye and disappear, then like, I don't know, I don't really learn anything from that interaction. And if I'm doing something wrong, I would rather know, you know. Grizzly, don't be an asshole. It's one of the things I say the most to Grizzly is don't be an asshole. Grizzly, come, come. I have to go onto the stairs or he thinks I'm faking him wanting to come. Grizzly. Grizzly, come, come. Grizzly, come here. Come. You hurt me. Grizzly, I'm not mad at you. There's no reason to bark at other doggies, Grizzly. They didn't do anything wrong. Nobody's mad at you. Nobody at all. It's just alright, Grizzly, but there's no reason to bark at other doggies. Not a single one. He probably can't even hear you. Grizzly, how about you have yourself a nice lay upon my bed and contemplate what you've done? How about that? I can kind of hear my music from the other side of the room, so I hope the stream couldn't hear it, because if they could hear it, or if you can hear it, that means that you can probably hear it when I'm just listening to it by myself. So, whee! What was that? That was, Magnum Bullets, of course. No, it's still going. It's halfway through. The music video for this song is gorgeous. I love animated music videos in that style. They're so good. They also take 100,000 years to make, I'm guessing, so I can't blame anyone for not making them like that, but God, are they beautiful. Why isn't... Oh. A standing trophy of the battles I've survived. The choices I pretend will lead me anyway. The loss of precious time. Blah, 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 blah. I don't really want to listen to this song. I do really like this song, but I don't want to listen to it, if you understand my meaning. I don't... No, no, no. Guess what I want? Wake my soul? Well, I can tolerate it. However, it's not what I'm really vibing with at the moment. I do like this song a lot, though. Okay, never mind. It is what I'm vibing with at the moment. Bad news, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we're just gonna get rid of that. The amount of times I've drawn a wolf just walking somewhere is so many. She's not... What is she doing? What is she doing there? Why is she... Where is she walking to? Where is she going? Where are you going with this? Excuse me. Awake my soul. Awake my soul. How fickle my heart and how woozy my eyes. I struggle to find any truth in your lies. And now my heart stumbles on things I don't know. My weakness I feel I must finally show. Ha, 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 ha. Oh my god. So this thing happened.
this isn't a big deal or anything. I don't know why I started with, oh my god. Um, I was it last New Year's? It might have been last New Year's, not the one that was like 20 days ago. The one that was like last year, I think. Or maybe it wouldn't be 4th of July because they're British. It was some event that was nice, and the good Mumphy boy, Lord, I don't know who. I have to imagine they approved of it because it was on their official account, but and it was not talking about themselves in the first person, so I think it was like their media manager or something like that. But somebody posted a picture on their official account of all of those boys completely naked jumping into the sea, like from behind. All you could see were their asses. But I was like, is what? Really? I don't know why. I wasn't expecting that, man. My mom just showed that post to me like it was perfectly normal, and I was just like, now wait a second. Is now wait a sec. Um, it's unsurprisingly it reminds me of a scene in Brokeback Mountain where the boys are jumping into the lake on Brokeback Mountain together from a cliff, and like in my brain, if what the Mumphy boys are doing together can be perceived as heterosexual because they are all heterosexual, then there's nothing gay about what the Brokeback Boys did in that scene, which I find very interesting because, like, it is not the context of their it's not the actions themselves that indicate their sexuality in this case, but who's doing them. But in a, like, much more sexualized or like a bit stranger of a circumstance than most actions, like whether or not a certain gesture is gay. It's a different deal than that because it's like not something largely unrelated to your sexuality or not inherent to it, like a gesture, but something like whether or not you hang around with other naked guys all the time. Because that's, that seems a bit more explicit, does it not? But they're doing the same thing as gay guys are doing in about a very gay thing, but it's not gay because heterosexual men are doing it. At least I assume they're heterosexual. I think they are. Lord knows I haven't asked them. And I return to this beautiful city. Black skies are changed into view. Changed into blue, that's what they actually say. So this is Dear Fellow Traveler by Seawolf, and I actually have a fan interpretation. I'm gonna use the word interpretation of this song. You could hear me like almost say fan theory there and then make myself stop. But this song, so how it reads to me, what does it remind me? It reminds me of something. I think it reminds me of A Way of Kings, The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Like, Kaladin's interactions with his men are what it reminds me of for some reason. I could not tell you exactly why, but it feels to me like a like a man having his like only gay affair, and it felt like this to me before I watched Brokeback Mountain, in case you're curious. And later going on to spend the rest of his life thinking about the one time he had a gay affair and missing it. Which is definitely not what Jack and Ennis do in Brokeback Mountain. They do not have just one gay affair. Well, I mean, if you go by body count, Ennis does, but Jack does not. But if you go by, you know, the number of affairs they had, it's a lot, probably. I mean, they did, spend something like 16 years seeing each other, so. Lord, that movie is sad. Oh my god. That has the. I talked about this yesterday with someone who was thankfully willing to listen to me. God knows he didn't have a reason to. But it's my favorite type of media ending, mostly because it's the only one that provokes any real emotion in me. When that's the ending of resounding nothingness, as I'm going to coin it. It's the ending of meaninglessness, if you will. Like the very last ending of Lord of the Rings in the books, where Arwen is miserable and sad, and she's so sad that she gains the ability to die. That's how sad she is. There's such profound nothing that an immortal being dies. That's the ending of profound nothingness, which sounds very fancy. And God, what other? The Giver. I was watching a Big Joel thing about The Giver, and I realized that The Giver's ending is an ending of profound nothingness, at least as I saw it, which was as a play performed in Wisconsin by my cousin. The theater he was a part of, he was Jonas, or whatever the hell the kid's name is in it. And that one ends with a different profound nothingness. It ends with death, but not death of someone else. Well, Jack was one of the main characters of Brokeback Mountain. It focused more on Ennis than on Jack, but it did also focus on Jack. But what The Giver ends with is a complete ending of profound nothingness, or I guess it feels about equally as profound to me. There's an equal amount of nothingness, if that makes sense. Uh, in The Giver, the way I saw it, and by that I mean the way I literally viewed it, which was my cousin on a stage and me surrounded by a couple hundred other people. It ends with Jonas wandering off into the wilderness and hallucinating sledding with the baby until he freezes to death. And it's over. Rip, I guess. It is an ending of profound nothingness, because his whole life was nothing but being pushed and pulled around by the adults until he found his use in death. Yay! The Giver wanted revenge on the whole world, and he got it by essentially killing Jonas. I do find the story very interesting, of course. I think the best stories are the ones that feel. That's why the ending of Profound Nothingness is my favorite, because it feels the most impactful to me. It feels the least, like, sanitized, if you will, because the ending of Profound Nothingness is how most of our lives end, I think. That's the ending of real life. You live, and then, at the end of the day, you die. And I think about it a lot. I think about death a lot. God, I remember when I was like 8 years old, I thought about the fact that I was gonna die and had like a panic attack and broke down crying in the middle of doing laundry in my room. And now when I think about it, I just go, God, I hope someone has a good time in the future and they don't just. Well, we can't do anything about people forgetting about us, I guess. This is as much a problem when we're alive as when we're dead, though. I mean, it isn't a problem when we're dead, because we're dead, but, you know. I just hope I get enough time here before I die. I don't know if I can get enough time, but I won't have enough time. I want to have enough time to marry the man I love in my own special way. I do love him. I don't know if. I don't. It's a special kind of love, as every way, every love is. It's not. It's like mostly platonic, but I do also want to marry him. If you get my meaning. Not that love can be so easily divided into this one is the one Plato liked and this one is the one Socrates liked or whatever. I know that's not what those mean. But it is not infatuation anymore. It's been too long. It could not be it any longer. I suppose we all go into stages of infatuation, but I like to think that mine are short. I love contemplating the meaninglessness of existence while streaming on Twitch to an audience of one person who might not be listening to me. And mumbling about someone who is absolutely not listening to me and would probably. I don't know what he'd do. Good lord. I want him to be around again. I don't want to keep being such a miserable little shit all the time. And I do know for a fact that if he was around, I would be less awful all the time, because it's happened before. I have empirical evidence on my side. I am factually less miserable around him, even if he has been cruel to me in the past. Mostly just because we have, like, the exact same interests, and also, we both, when we're around each other, we both talk to each other, like, all day. And I really like that. I would just want someone to talk to me, really. Why Lil Nas X? Yes, I am feeling down. Thank you for asking. I should listen to Montero. You're so right, Lil Nas X. Montero. I'm gonna start with Industry Baby, as I am known to do. I'm talking about, like, just the awful feelings I have about love and the fact that I'm gonna die someday, and you're playing Devil May Cry 2. The fact that I don't want to die before I love someone, and you're like, look, man, I'm just playing a video game. Well, I already love people. I don't want to die before someone loves me the same way I love them. I want somebody to love me. Look, I'm gonna turn on that song. Fuck you, Lil Nas X. I want to listen to Somebody to Love. That came out of me very naturally. Somebody to love. God, Freddie Mercury had a lovely voice. Oh my lord. The homosexuality in me is coming out in fucking spades listening to this man's voice. Not not like attraction to him necessarily, but like I can feel the homosexuality in his voice, if you get me. Can anybody find me somebody to love? Bad news Friday. Lord, this man's voice. Oh, somebody, ooh, somebody, and anybody find me somebody to love. It feels like disrespectful to sing over him. Yeah, that's the average conversation with me in real life, dude. Wait, when was I talking about pictures of naked people? Curious. I did start out the stream talking about Boys at the Beach. Oh! Yes, of course. Naturally. Mumford and Sons. Find me somebody to love. Yeah, look, like, imagine what it's like to talk to me in real life. I'm like this, but you have to look at me while I'm saying these. You have to look in my eyes and be like, this is where his brain is at? Oh. And if you refuse to look me in the eyes, I simply stop speaking. That's a joke. most of the friends I have or have known, here's a fun fact. Basically, every best friend I've ever had has had ADHD. And if Ellen turns out to be best friend material, as of yet unproven, he'll be the only best friend I've ever had that did not have ADHD. Lith did not have diagnosed ADHD, but if that man didn't have ADHD, I don't know what he had. It had it was ADHD. There's just no way that wasn't ADHD. Good God, that boy could not focus on anything for longer than 10 seconds unless he was deeply invested in it. He could get deeply invested in things very easily, but they were usually useless shit, like me. Soulmate material. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Phantom. Some of us are annoying and like being crazy and depressed. I think it's just mostly the depression that makes me this existential. Excuse me. Okay, I want to listen to more Queen now. Give me more. Don't stop me now. Absolutely does not have the most listens, you liar. It's number one right now. But the one with the most... What? Why is their album cover that? That's awful. Why would they do that? Okay, I'm gonna listen to Bohemian Rhapsody, which has 2 billion listens on Spotify. And God, how long ago was it released? Like 50 years ago? Was it in this one that Bohemian? Fat bottom girls make the rockin' world go round. Don't Stop Me Now was originally in 45 years ago, baby girl. Anyway, the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. To me. Which one is Bohemian Rhapsody from? Which album? Oh. A Night at the Opera, 1975. Put a gun against his head, which was 48 years ago now. Mama, life had just begun. Thrown it all away. Mama, ooh, didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, as if nothing really matters. Too late, my time has come, sends shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time. Goodbye, everybody, I've got to go. Gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Oh, mama, ooh, I don't wanna die. If I'm not, I'd never been born at all. Not do not know the lyrics to that song somehow. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. Speaking about you, Phantom. Indeed. So too are we all. You know, my therapist earlier, on my last therapy appointment with me, I expressed the feeling I had that he was kind of sick and tired of listening to me talk about Lith, because the last time I spoke to him, he seemed kind of sick and tired of it. He explained to me that he was, in fact, not sick and tired of it, just trying to, like, process and relate, because he went through a somewhat similar, though less severe, form of that, which was that his best friend died. And in the same accident, or Carl, his body died, what was it? 6 times? On the way to the hospital, he died 6 times because his back had gotten crushed. But his best friend, his neck just snapped and he just died. As quickly as that, as easily as that. He's just dead. And that feels like I don't know. I don't know what it feels like to have that happen, obviously. I feel like an amount of like relatability in it, in that like I did lose someone who I loved, who I still love very, very much. And God, it's a different kind of thing. Though Carl, my therapist Carl, expressed some similar like feelings as I have felt about it. Like, though in his case they're less rational, because in his case his best friend didn't have like any choice about what happened to him. He just died. But Carl said that at times he's felt like, why would he choose that over being friends with me? Why did he choose for that to happen? But in Carl's case, there was no choice. He just died. There was nothing that anybody could have done. He just died. But in my case, Lith did actually choose to forsake me, to use a good word. I like fancy words. She's just like a baroness. In his case, there was no choice. In my case, there was a choice that was made, and I feel I know why Lith did what he did. But it still hurts because there's just nothing that can like come to replace him, really. He was the one person who absolutely really got me in my creative feelings. The one person in the whole fucking world who like understood me. And I know how that sounds, but it's just true. No one else knows. He knew. He chose everything else before me. The one person who I would offer all my love, all my forgiveness, everything. He could not so much as bear to give me an explanation in person. He had to text it to me when I was in the same state as him. The person who I love the most, or loved the most, other than like my mother, obviously. Kind of hard to measure up to a man's mother if you're not gonna marry him, or unless he has a shitty mom. But I don't, thankfully, which is nice for me. I want to listen to more of Under Pressure. Ugh, David Bowie and Freddie Mercury in one song. Does it get any more homosexual than that, I ask? Yeah, kind of hard to measure up to a man's mom, but like, I'm guessing most people's moms have like, or it's easy to underestimate how much your mom does for you when you're a teenager because that's something that, in a manner of speaking, she kind of owes to you. But also, if you have never gone without it, then it feels normal. Like it's normal for other people to do that much for you. Assuming you have a really nice mom, which I do. So, I feel I probably appreciate her more than most young men appreciate their mothers just because she has been so much the like unfaultable soldier for me who would do anything for me. In cases where no one else would take up that role, she did it. Why can't we give ourselves one more chance? Why can't we give love that one more chance? Man. I just want some. I say it all the time. I just want somebody to love me. I don't want somebody. I don't want anyone to love me. I want one person to love me.
This is our last dance. This is ourselves. Under pressure. Under pressure. Pressure. It's so funny to me, Phantom, that I'm saying all of this to you, kind of, while you're like playing video games or whatever it is you're doing, playing Dead by Daylight. I mostly say these things so that I may hear them. Because I can't get ideas out of my head until I have said them aloud. What do we have next? Ogre Battle, remastered 2011. I have never heard this song in my life. This is very strange. I just like, don't stop me now. I'm gonna listen to that. I love it when they start with piano. I love piano. Floating around in ecstasy, so don't stop me now. Don't stop me. Don't stop me now. I'm having a ball. Oh, that's such a good song. There's such like a... God, what is it about him? There's like a... like a compositional feeling to them, I think it is, that makes them feel like really impactful. Like the amount of energy is always right in these really good ones. The amount of dead air is perfect. And in this case, it's no dead air. The song just blasts. No? Got dead air here. I like it. Oh. Lord God, have you ever heard someone say something that like just I think I already talked about this actually, but someone said something to me about Freddie Mercury that like completely blindsided me with how like weird and unempathetic it was. And it was that somebody said to me, like, while we were talking about Freddie Mercury, that he fucked himself into his grave. And, like, that, like, stunned me for a second. And I was just like, um, what? What are you, it, like, what?
how do you respond? How do you respond to that? That's such an awful thing to say. Like, I don't think the penalty for having unprotected sex should be death. Controversial take. Um, what am I supposed to, help? What am I supposed to say to that? Okay. I'm gonna listen to another of the hits. Killer Queen. That's me. I mean, yeah, we've all heard worse, but how do you respond to that? Like, what do you say? Can I convince someone who would say something like that that's wrong? Like, the very fact that they would say that says a lot about them, doesn't it? Like, they're they imply so much about themselves by saying that. Like, did other people that died of AIDS deserve it? Because they why why bring that up at all? Why imply that it was him fucking that brought him to his death and not the fact that uh AIDS wasn't researched and no one would treat AIDS patients and the government treated it like divine punishment for gay people's existence. Mr. Reagan, may he rot in hell, it did not help anyone during that time, in fact. In fact, hundreds of thousands of people died and still die in areas that are not here, thankfully, but they still die. And no one no one fucked themselves to death. That doesn't Lord, it just it just hurts, doesn't it? Just what would they say about me if that happened to me? What if I fucked myself to death? That's not even like there's like absolutely nothing funny about saying that either. Like, it sounds like the kind of thing one of those comedians would say where they're like, cancel culture will cancel me for saying this, so I'm going to say it anyway because of free speech. And it's just like them talking stupidly about something they don't know anything about, or being incredibly cruel and being like, cancel culture will cancel me for saying this because they hate free speech. It's like, I think the reason they're canceling you for saying that is because you're a fucking idiot, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Freddie Mercury's impression of Elvis is excellent, by the way. God, it sucks so much that that everyone who died of AIDS died like that. That's awful. It sucks for all of them. And it sucks that Freddie Mercury is someone with so much, like, so much presence in his voice, so much skill, just gone. It just doesn't matter to them. What happens to us? It just doesn't matter to them. Only we earn our deaths, I suppose. Nothing has failed us but ourselves. Axel deals with awful feelings while Phantom plays Dead by Daylight. Sorry, Phantom, you've been relegated to playing Dead by Daylight. I don't know what you're actually playing, but it's Dead by Daylight now. There goes my baby. Crazy little thing called love. Crazy little thing called love. Welcome home, darling. Make yourself at... What? Hello. I was in the middle of shouting at something funny at her. It's going pretty good. You can come check my book collection if you want to. She does not want to. Like that they have a song called Thank God It's Christmas. I've never heard that one before. I want to break free. You know what I hope Lith knows? I hope he knows that I'm a miserable little bastard. I hope he's miserable too. So that when at long last he comes back, we can stop being so damn miserable together. And then we can get married and have a dozen babies. It's a joke. It's a funny joke about how Axel feels about most of his friends. Most of my friends, I'm like, yeah, I'd marry them. I don't know. I'm not super picky. I do just want somebody to love me, and also, ideally, Lith to love me, but good lord, Phantom, if ever I have Lith as a guest on here, you are gonna have so much like tattling like so much to say to him, to be like, Axel said this thing about you one time, just so you know. He's gonna tattle on me. Do that though. That would be hilarious. Paid public humiliation. You're like, I'm taking this shit with me to the grave, boy. I mean, fuck. If Liz ever comes back, I'm probably just gonna tell him, like, point blank, Liz, we should get married. Stop fucking around. Or at least have sex. I mean, I've earned that much, haven't I? I'm very blunt. It makes me charming and definitely not irritating. Genuinely, I don't think being. Well, the reason I'm so blunt is that I feel terrible lying to anyone about anything. And I've been like, I've been this way for a very long time. I feel awful lying about things, and I'm probably not very good at it. I mean, nobody's got me yet, but I feel like I must be bad at lying, even though nobody catches me when I do lie. Maybe it's because I tell the truth so much. I don't do that on purpose, though. Mm. You know, probably one of the worst parts of being gay is that everyone you're likely to fall in love with is, if he's gay, is reasonably likely to hate himself and everything in general, so. At least if you're straight, you can have, like, the luxury of falling in love with a really stupid man who doesn't hate anything because he's too dumb. Unfortunately, all gay people are very intelligent, so we are stuck falling in love with each other, and we're all annoying because we all think about how fucked we are all the time. Oh, 11 p.m. The later into the night I get, the more I think about Lith, and the less rational and handsome I get, until I become a miserable little gremlin. There's a certain threshold over which I stop being miserable and start being horny, but that only happens once I'm done streaming, because there's nothing sexy about performing for an audience. Am I right, boys? I've been streaming for. Most of this time I've just been like rambling and slowly falling asleep. This looks pretty good. I think we can say this is good. I'll save it as a JPEG and send it to all my friends and colleagues, and they're going to say, it's pretty good, Axel. Actually, on the place I send these usually, no one ever says it's pretty good. Usually they just go, you know. So I'm gonna send this to the people. What the hell is this? It's a terrible remix. Wow. Usually I don't mind music that much, but that one's bad actually. Alright, anyway, I'll see you, Phantom, tomorrow, or in hell, depending. Or both. I can see you tomorrow and then later in hell. That seems more likely. That's such a powerful thing to say, though. I'll see you in hell. I do really want to say that to someone, like, really vehemently someday. That's the dream. Anyway, it's time for me to go. I should probably go to sleep instead of being an annoying little bitch. Alright, good night.